Some warriors prefer to fight with finesse and agility. Not us. Today, I teach you the value of pure strength.
How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Flesh and Blood deck tech video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today, we're going to be going over one of my favorite current decks in the Blitz format. It is Big Axe Dorinthea. This is the Merciless Battle Axe Dorinthea, coming in with that big two-hander. It's a lot of fun. You can push a lot of damage, and it's a really interesting off-meta take on the warrior class and Dorinthea as a whole. So, you know, it's right up my alley. As always, if you like today's video, go ahead and subscribe. Like the video, ring the notification bell, and join the Rogues Gallery. I have a plethora of ways to support the channel as well in the description down below, including our Patreon, channel memberships, online store, all of that kind of good stuff. But let's cut the preamble. Let's get straight into the deck tech. This is a deck that I'm very excited to talk about. It's one that I've been having a ton of fun playing, and I will have played this on stream, and oh, it's just a blast. So let's get to it. And of course, if you'd like the full deck list, including all of our equipment loadout, we do have a link in the description down below for the full deck. But let's talk about Big Axe Dorinthea. Dorinthea is actually one of my favorite heroes in the game. It's not one that I talk about a lot these days, but it was my first deck that I went pretty hard on and got all the legendaries for and all that good stuff, because she's the character from Welcome to Rathe that I personally like the most, even though Katsu was the first one that I truly played. But anyway, with all the deep lore out of this, let's talk about Dorinthea and her Merciless Battle Axe. So why I like Dorinthea for this? Because it makes it so we can attack twice with our Merciless Battle Axe. If the Battle Axe connects, then Dorinthea's hero ability means we can use it a second time, which is great. So that's why we're running Dorinthea. Also, she's awesome. Dorinthea is fantastic. So what is the Merciless Battle Axe? The key part to this deck, because almost every single card in this deck pumps the Battle Axe to some degree, or cares about pumping the Battle Axe, or gives it go again, or something like that. So the Merciless Battle Axe has a once per turn action for 3 resources attack. What that tells me right off the bat is we care about blue cards, because blue cards pitch for 3, and we want to attack with our Battle Axe with a single card and then pump it with some other stuff, right? It also says whenever Merciless Battle Axe attacks, if its attack is greater than twice its base attack, so it has to be coming in for 7, then it gains Overpower, which is kind of a unique mechanic that says this can't be defended by more than 1 action card. So basically, your opponent can defend with reactions or equipment, but only 1 action card. For some decks, that's brutal, absolutely brutal. For other decks, they've got a lot of reactions and they can deal with it. So this is a little bit matchup dependent, but we can push a ton of damage with this axe, because we're going to be pushing, you'll see, we're going to be pushing a ton of damage. So a couple key things here. Once again, we're very resource heavy. This is a resource hog deck. The axe itself costs 3, and we have a lot of cards in here that cost, a decent amount as well to play to pump the axe. The other one is we don't care about reactions as much, because to get this trigger, the axe has to have twice or greater than twice its base attack when it attacks, not during the reaction step, right? So it has to be when it attacks, so we want to pre-pump the axe. So big resources, pre-pump the axe. We're also running the Helm of Sharp Eye, which is a little bit difficult to read because I have this beautiful signature by Federico Musetti here. So we're just going to stick up future me, future Mr. Rogue, put a image up so people could read what the card does. But the card basically synergizes with our axe, because the axe cares about being greater than twice its attack, and so does the Helm of Sharp Eye, cares about our attack or our weapon being greater than twice the attack. And if it is as an attack reaction for a resource, we destroy the helm, and then we get to look at the top, where we banish the top card of our deck, and then we can play it this chain, which means if we have an attack reaction, we can then play it. So the idea here is we want to opt something to the top, make sure it's an attack reaction, and then be able to play it with our Helm of Sharp Eye. That's the kind of idea here. It's also just great. Blocks for 1, which is good. It's battle worn too, so you can block for 1 and then use this effect. We're also running Gallantry Gold. It's one of the only options for the Battle Axe. Also, it's just a great budget option as well. For a resource, destroy it, and then all of our weapon attacks gain +1 this turn, which means our axe gets +1 for the turn, which is good for getting over those breakpoints. Also, just on turns where we want to go real big and attack multiple times with the axe, this is going to be a great one. Also, once again, battle worn, blocks for 1. Spring Tunic is kind of the only option here we have for this deck. There are some budget options here or there if you want to run stuff with more block, like Iron Rot and that kind of stuff. But essentially, this is a deck that's a resource hog, and this helps us get those resources. So yeah, Tunic is kind of the clear choice for the deck. Which is kind of a bummer, because without the Tunic, this would be a very budget deck. So you could theoretically build this deck on a very, very like low budget if you wanted to replace the Tunic with something else. So, and it's not that much better. Just getting that one resource isn't that much better, but it does help. It does help for sure. And then finally, we have the Refraction Bolters. This is a, you know, warrior staple, blocks for 1, and then it can give our Battle Axe Go Again, which is really, really important. It only cares if it hits, but the Battle Axe is much more easy to hit than a lot of other weapons because it has that built-in overpower. Keep that in mind. We want to trigger that overpower almost every single time, if we can. So that's kind of our equipment loadout here. You do have some Arcane Barrier options. Once again, check the deck list in the description down below. And you have some other options here or there, like Valiant Dynamo if you want to block more with your boots. But I like this. I like this, and I think it makes it into a very nice, fun, and budget-friendly, actually. So let's talk about some axe pumping stuff, because we got a lot of sweet ones. Oh yeah, we get to play stuff like Cleave. This card's sick. So, because we want our Battle Axe to have more than double its base attack, that means we're looking for +4s here. +4s or better. So, we're going to start off with some +4s. Cleave. It's a 1-drop, gives our next attack this turn +4, our next axe attack this turn +4, and then when it hits a hero ally, you can deal that much damage to another ally controlled. So this is a great Dragon Slayer card. If you're playing against a lot of Dromais and you're like, man, I wish I could kill their dragons while also hitting them for a ton of damage, this is a great way to do so. And then once again, against decks like that don't have a lot of reactions, coming in for 7, and they can only block with 1 action card, oof, oof, oof. That's good. That's good eats. So we're running some Cleaves. We're running Bread and Butter Felling Swing. This is one of the key parts of the deck. 3-drop. This is the red one. Your next axe attack gains +6. That means our axe is coming in for 9. It does cost 3, right? So you need blue, blue, and then this, right? But that's a good way to come in with 9. The yellow one gives it +5. The blue one gives it +4. So all of these, all of the Felling Swing and the Cleave, they all turn on our axe. They activate the axe, which is great. Now we have some of our big wombo combo stuff, right? So these cards here, I'm gonna say these 6 cards are some of the big wombo combo stuff. Especially if you can play 2 of them. Especially if you can play something like Spillblood and Steelblade Supremacy in the same turn. Oh, then you're eating very good. The fact that they all gave +2 mean that if you play any combination of these, they turn on the Battle Axe. I know how that sounds. We're going with it. We're going with it. So, Steelblade Supremacy. Until end of turn, target weapon gains +2, and whenever this weapon hits, draw a card. Why this card is so good, as well as Spillblood, is that it pumps the axe for the entire turn, not just for the next attack, like all of these ones here. These 2 cards give it for the entire turn. So, if, like I said, you're eating real good if you can Steelblade Supremacy and Spillblood. Yeah, you're eating good. So, gives it +2, and then whenever it hits, you get a draw card, and it's probably gonna hit if you have that Overpower active, or even better, combine it with Spillblood, which also gives it +2, but it also gives it Dominate. So, given these 2 together means it is coming in for 7 with Dominate and Overpower, if that matters at all. And if it hits, you get a draw card. And so what happens is when it hits, you can crack your Refraction Bolters to give it Go Again, and then smash on in for more damage. Hopefully you drew some, either a reaction or blue cards you can crash in again. These are our big kind of like combo-ish turns. Great stuff, especially these ones. Spoils of War is pretty good too. It's a 1-drop, and it just gives the next attack +2, but it also gives it Go Again. So this is guaranteed Go Again on your Battle Axe. Make sure it hits though, because if it doesn't hit, then it can't attack a second time. Once again, Dorinthea's Here ability basically says you can attack a second time with your weapon, but only if it hits. So it has to hit. So yeah, keep that in mind. But +2 and guaranteed Go Again is quite good. Next up, we have some of our reactions. This is our reaction package. And it all hinges around Singing Steelblade, which is a DORINTHEA specialization. You give target weapon attack +1 as a reaction. And if they're defended with a card from their hand, then you can go tutor for an attack reaction card, which is great. So this makes it so we have like a little toolkit here where we can get any one of these cards off of the Singing Steelblade, depending on what we need. So, for example, if we need damage, we get route. So we can route something back to the opponent's hand. This is a very salty card for a lot of people. Cost 2, give the weapon +3, but you also get to return a card that they're defending with to their hand. So if they're defending with a very high cost defense reaction or just any kind of regular block, routing it is great. So this is virtual 6, actually, +6. We also run a 1 of Shatter, just in case. Like, you can shatter stuff because we are running a two-handed weapon. Just in case you don't know what Shatter does, because a lot of people don't. Cost 0. Until end of turn, target two-handed weapon gains whenever this would deal weapon damage. Instead, you may destroy defending equipment with a defense less than the damage to be dealt this way. This is actually great if you're only getting like a couple points of damage through and you're like, blow up your tunic or something. Yeah, but it's not like super useful, so we're just running the 1. We're just running the 1. And then Glint the Quicksilver is just an absolute staple. It costs 0. It gives our axe go again, and then if they blocked with something from hand, we get a draw card. So good stuff. Yeah, great stuff with that. All right, let's talk about a bunch of the other random shenanigans. So we have a bunch of random shenanigans in the deck. So Driving Blade is just a way to give go again to our battle axe, but most importantly, it's a blue that blocks for 3. But it can also give our axe go again in a pinch. We have Whisper of the Oracle. This is actually great for setting up the top of our deck for Helm of Sharp Eye, so we can do some reaction shenanigans. But more importantly, it is a blue that blocks for 3. Running 2 of these. This Rounds on Me can put a damper on a lot of go wide decks like Phi and Briar. And also, like, giving our opponent the ability to draw a card on attack where we want to be aggressive isn't that big of a deal because we have built-in evasion. So if they're one of those decks that doesn't run a lot of reactions, who cares if they have another card in their hand? They can't block with it anyway. Also, it's a blue that blocks for 3. We have Hit and Run, another card that gives our axe go again. But more importantly, it is once again, a blue that blocks for 3. You're gonna see a lot of blues. I like this. Okay, hear me out. Potions. Hear me out with the potions. All right, so the potions, they're blue, they don't block for 3, but they give you some really cool effects. So Potion of Strength actually can stack, or can combo, work in tandem with any of the +2s here that we can get. So we can actually activate that Overpower. So this is actually a great like turn 1 play. Playing a Potion of Strength and then just saving it for later is great, but it's also a blue, which really matters because we need a lot of blues. Energy Potion, same kind of deal. This deck is kind of a resource hog. So playing this early and then popping it later, when we really need the resources, can be great. Also, it's just a blue. All right, so we have some defensive cards. We have Fate Foreseen. I like Fate Foreseen over Sink Below in this deck because of the interaction with Helm of Sharp Eye. So on an opponent's turn, if they're attacking with us, we can Fate Foreseen, opt, and then if it's an attack reaction, we can leave it there in hopes that we can activate our Helm of Sharp Eye on our turn, and we can get value out of that. So that's why I like the Fate Foreseen over something like Sink Below in this particular build. We're also running the Steel Blade Shunt because it's a blue, but still blocks for 4, and we can hit our opponent for 1 with it. So I actually really like the blue Steel Blade Shunt. Costs 1 to play, but I still like it. This is one of the cards that makes the Tunic a little bit better because you can Tunic and then Steel Blade Shunt them and not have to waste any other cards from your hand, which is great. And once again, it's a blue. We also have Unmovable because it's a blue that blocks really well, actually. This is really good against other decks that have evasion effects, you know, Guardians, all that kind of stuff. So we're running 2 blue Unmovables. And then the final card is a cheeky Nourishing Emptiness, the only attack action card in the deck, and I love it. So it's a 2 cost, attacks for 6, blocks for 3 actually. And it says, while there are no attack action cards in your graveyard, and there won't be, because this is the only one in the deck, Nourishing Emptiness gains Dominate, and if it hits, your hero gains +1 Intellect until end of turn, which means you get to draw 5 cards at the end of your turn, which is great. So yeah, Nourishing Emptiness is kind of gross, actually. It's kind of gross. On some turns, where you can attack with the Merciless Battle Axe, give it go again, but if your opponent blocks it all out, then you have nothing else to do. Well, you just crundle on in for 6 with Dominate and gain some intellect. So yes, that is my Big Axe DORINTHEA deck. Love this deck. Once again, really, really big fan of these off-meta, really fun builds. This is why I love card games, coming up with these interesting and fun strategies. And I really like this one. This is one that I think it's really fun to play right now, but I think as it gets more support can be even more fun. So every new set, I am looking for more, you know, Big Axe synergy. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think of Big Axe DORINTHEA in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time.